Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with the beautiful Karina and Karina's friend. They went out to Bogota and explored around and ate a wonderful lunch in downtown Bogota. And Karina says hi to everybody. And this video is about Indonesia. Beautiful Indonesia. K1 visas, embassy processing in Indonesia. For new viewers to the channel, this is your channel. My name is Diego and Karina, and we're waiting for our K1 visa to get adjudicated at the Service Center in California. Our NOA1 receipt date is April 18th, 2022, which was yesterday because today is April 19th, 2023. And we're in the same boat as you, waiting and waiting and waiting for our K1 visa to get adjudicated. But let's talk about Indonesia. Beautiful Indonesia. Indonesia, or as it's officially called, the Republic of Indonesia, is a country in Southeast Asia and Oceania. Oceania, that name keeps popping up, between the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Now it consists of over 17,000 islands, including Sumatra, Java, Sulawesi, and parts of Borneo, and New Guinea. And Indonesia is the world's largest archipelagic state and the 14th largest country by area, with 735,358 square miles. That's a lot of yard to cut. That's a lot of space. Indonesia has about 280 million people living there, and it's the world's fourth most populous country and the most populous Muslim majority country in the world. And Java is the most populous island and is home to more than half of the country's population. So half of everybody in Indonesia lives in Java. It is the world's third largest republic, and it has a presidential republic with an elected legislature, which is good to hear. Indonesia has 38 provinces, of 9 of which have a special status. And I don't know what that special status is, but 38 provinces it has a special status. The country's capital is Jakarta, and it's the world's second most populous urban area. So there's a lot of people there. Indonesia shares land borders with Papua New Guinea, East Timor, eastern parts of Malaysia, and they have a maritime border with Singapore, Communist Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, Australia, Palau, and India. So Indonesia is surrounded by beautiful people from beautiful countries, so they have lots of beautiful neighbors. Tourists in Indonesia, they are most welcome, and they help the economy, and tourism contributed right around 9.8 billion US dollars in gross domestic product in 2020. And that was during COVID too, so that's pretty good. And also they received 15.4 million visitors in 2019. Now where does Indonesia get its tourists from? Communist China, they visit Indonesia. People from Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, and Japan. Those are the top 5 sources of visitors to beautiful Indonesia. And since 2011, Indonesia's marketing campaign slogan has been, to promote tourism, has been wonderful Indonesia. You know, like in Navarre, they say, in Navarre, Florida, down the road, they say, I can't remember what it says, but everybody has a slogan to try to attract visitors to their country or district. Indonesia has the world's longest coastline, so it's a world record, measuring 33,999 miles. Whatever that is in kilometers, I have no clue, and I don't care. I live in the USA. We work in miles. The ancient Borobudur and Prambanan temples, as well as Toraja and Bali, with their traditional festivities, are some of the most popular destinations for tourists. the ancient Borobudur and Prambanan temples. I hope I get that right. And other attractions include the Komodo National Park. Now, a Komodo dragon is a giant lizard, and if they were to bite you, their saliva is got some kind of bacteria in it which will paralyze you, and then they wait for you to get paralyzed, and then they eat you. So don't touch Komodo dragons if you go visit Komodo Dragon National Park. Indonesia is ethnically diverse. There's around 1,300 different distinct native ethnic groups in Indonesia, which is fantastic. And the country's official language is Indonesian, and which is a variant of Malay, which is based on a prestige dialect, which has been the archipelago's lingua franca for centuries, the language of this country for hundreds of years. Indonesia is the world's most populous Muslim majority country, with Sunnis being in the majority at 99%. Well, 99% is pretty much the majority, right? And Indonesia also lies along the equator, and its climate tends to be relatively even all year round by virtue of its location. Indonesia has 2 seasons, wet and dry, with no extremes of summer or winter. Ooh, I like that. For the most part, Indonesia, the dry season falls between May and October, and the wet season between November and April. So if you want to go to Indonesia on vacation, go in May and October and you won't get rained on. And the climate in Indonesia is mostly tropical, dominated by tropical rainforests found on every large island. Yeah, Florida is tropical also, but we don't have any islands. Well, we do, but not like Indonesia. And the most cool temperatures lie in the mountainous regions that are 4,300 to 4,900 feet above sea level. But now let's talk about food, my favorite subject, not so much the mountains. Cuisine is one of the world's most diverse and vibrant and colorful foods in the world, full of intense flavor. Oh, sounds fantastic. And there are many regional cuisines that exist, often based upon indigenous culture, which is good, and foreign influences such as Chinese food, European food, Middle Eastern, and Indian food. Now, I can make a really good Indian curry. My dad taught me how to make a Rico Indian curry. So, but we're talking about Indonesia. Let's keep on with the food of Indonesia. Rice is the leading staple food and is served with side dishes of meat and vegetables and spices, notably chili. Coconut milk, fish, and chicken are fundamental ingredients. Coconut milk is found in all curries too, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Some popular dishes such as nasi goreng, gado-gado, satay, and soto, while these are ambiguous and considered national dishes. Kind of like it's a national dish, okay? And the Ministry of Tourism, however, in 2014 chose tumpeng as the official national dish of Indonesia, describing it as, in its binding the diversity of a variety of culinary traditions. So it's all inclusive. So tumpeng is the Indonesia's national dish. Now let's talk about K1 visas and the U.S. Embassy. Now in fiscal year 2022, the U.S. State Department approved 80 K1 visas for the wonderful citizens of Indonesia to marry their American citizen sponsors. The busiest month at the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta, which is where you get your K1 visa, was January and October. Okay? Now, immigrant visas, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are processed for citizens and residents of Indonesia at the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta, like I just said. And, the U.S. citizen petitioner can accompany your the beneficiary to the visa interview, but sometimes the immigration officer may ask you, Mr. or Miss American citizen, to sit outside while they talk and interview your beneficiary. But you're welcome to the interview. Now I'm going to put the address to the U.S. Embassy. I'm going to put the address right here. That's where it's located. And so, good information so far. But let's continue. The visa processing at the U.S. Embassy in Indonesia is Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So the visa folks work 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's a heck of a job. That's 10 hours. That's a 40-hour month work month. The phone number to the visa section right here in the embassy, and if your visa has been approved, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, you'll receive a sealed packet, okay, and the passport with your visa in it within 7 to 10 days by courier service. And don't open the packet when you get it, okay? Just your passport. Okay, if you open up the packet the embassy gives to you, the Customs Border Patrol guy or lady won't let you enter the USA. Don't forget to use your K1 visa within 6 months. And don't forget, you got to make sure that your medical exam doesn't expire too. So if you got your medical exam 4 months ago and you had your K1 visa interview today, then your K1 visa is only good for 2 months, because it's got to be all-inclusive with your medical exam and the expiration date of your K1 visa. So it's a good idea to get your medical exam probably a week or two before your visa interview. The email to the immigration visa folks in Indonesia, the embassy, the U.S. embassy is right here. And then here's another telephone number that you can call. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you were going to get your K1 visa and your K2 visas in your hands. You just got to be patient. You got to be cool. You got to be calm. You got to, understand that immigration are very, 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 very busy. And they don't have time to take your phone calls and chit-chat at USCIS service centers when they're trying to process visas. Okay? So be patient. Let them do their job. And soon you will be on an airplane flying to the USA to be with to get married and start your new lives over in the USA. And we can't wait for that. And we'll talk to you later. And thanks for watching. This is your channel, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And don't forget, Sundays at 5 p.m. is the live stream YouTube chat, questions and answers with Diego on K1 visas. Every Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Time, U.S.
I'll be back.